What is up, guys? My name is MipZ and welcome back for yet another League of Legends video. So today we're playing a champion that I guess you could call kind of toxic. She's absolutely amazing. She is a really late game horse. She's like legitimately, she outscales just about anybody in the late game due to the fact that she can also buy up to 6 full items damage wise, or combining whatever she likes, because she doesn't need boots. This is pretty cool, and she is honestly one of my, she's one of those champs you just can't get enough of. This champion was also requested by Exotis, I think that's how you pronounce it, and Pauk YT. Thank you so much for requesting this champion. Today we are of course playing Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia is, as we said, she has no legs, so she cannot buy boots. And you can even see this in the shop. If we search on boots, it's just gonna say, well, you can't, limited to 1 pair of boots. And it's like kind of weird. I don't have boots in my backpack, but it's because she doesn't really have legs, you know. That's kind of the reason why. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Anyway, let's kind of just start off by talking about what's going to happen in this video. First of all, the agenda is going to be that we're first going to talk about who this champion is for. Then we're going to move into the abilities, how they work, the ins and out, and every little detail, because it's very important for you guys to understand in order to actually master this champion. After that, we're going to start talking a little bit about the combos, like generally how do you want to combine your spells and why. And then lastly, we'll go into the game strategy, basically how you want to play her in the early, mid, and late game. Just a disclaimer, as always, I'm recording these videos live. I'm going to try my best to do decently, but the primary purpose of these videos are not to show you guys like absolutely mind-blowingly 200 IQ 5-headed plays. It's just to kind of make it entertaining to learn these champions, but also to kind of showcase them and have fun with them. So that's the purpose. If you guys like that, then make sure to smash that like button, and if you're not already subscribed, go ahead, click that subscribe button, be a part of the MipZ squad, or whatever we want to call ourselves, I guess. Our community has grown so much lately. Thank you guys for that. Just also another disclaimer is that we are not going to go into the runes in this video, or the items. The reason for this is that these things change fairly rapidly. Let's see if we can help out here. Not gonna be able to kill her. I'm gonna have to back pretty soon. But those things change so rapidly. Instead, I've left a link down below for mobile analytics where you guys can see it. The links directly to Cassiopeia and the current best build. This page is always updated, so just go there, check out whenever you need the runes or items. Anyhow, let's actually get started with the important stuff of this video. So as I said, the first thing we need to talk about is who this champion is for. This is, in my opinion, one of the harder champs in League of Legends. The reason for this is that she requires quite a bit of finesse to play, and she's also very, very, very gold dependent. She scales super well into the late game. If you get ahead and early as well, you're gonna be an absolute beast, and you can kill just about anybody 1v1 super, super easy. The thing with her, all right, let's see. Is she not going to use the... Okay. The thing with her basically is that she has no real mobility. She doesn't have dashes, etc. And this basically means that you can very, very easily get caught off guard by a jungler ganking you, etc. Making things just... But basically what's happening now. Whoop. All right, I'm going to have to back out. Yeah, I should have seen that one coming. But you can very easily get caught off guard. So it's very, very, very important that you remember to ward up, because Cassiopeia is super ward dependent. Like she's very dependent on you knowing where everybody is. But let's not talk too much about that for now. We'll go into that as we talk about the different phases of the game. But if you are a new player and you're like, this is just the champion that I want to play, dude, MipZ, this is me, this is what I feel like, then you should of course go for it. Don't feel discouraged. The only reason that I'm saying this is basically so you know what you're going into and the expectations that you can have. She is a super fun champion even for a new player, but she has a pretty steep learning curve. That's kind of what I'm trying to say with it. So do think about that. If you are a mediocre or advanced player, this is a champion that you honestly just should have in your roster if you're playing mid main. She's insane. She's super fun to play. And yeah, she's just overall a ridiculously fun champ. Like, quite honestly. Ooh, that was a close one. Okay. So that's basically all I have to say about who this champion's for. Of course, always just go for it if this is a champion that you feel like. But just know this one comes with a bit of a learning curve. All right, so next up, let's talk about the abilities. Our very first ability is what we kind of talked about at the very beginning of the video. And this is our Serpent Grace. This is the thing that allows us to not have boots, which is insane. Our Serpent Grace basically just says that you can't buy boots. And instead, you're going to gain 4 movement speed per level. Meaning that every time Cassiopeia levels up, she starts moving in a little bit faster. And this, of course, becomes more and more significant, which is kind of cool. Like at the first couple of levels, you're probably not going to notice yourself. But if you compare the start to level 18, you're definitely going to notice from level 1 to 18 because a lot happens. So that's basically all your passive Serpent Grace does. Does nothing else, but it's absolutely ridiculously strong. And the reason why I'm putting so much emphasis on this being strong, and this is something that newer players might not realize, is that since you since you don't have to buy boots, then you have an extra item that you can buy in your inventory. Like you can buy a full, let's say you could buy a Rabbidan's death cap that you otherwise might not have had room for, or something else, which is absolutely ridiculous. And hopefully I'll get to showcase that throughout this video for you guys. Anyway, that is all our passive does. It is a fairly simple spell, but a very cool one. All right, so let's move on to the next ability. Our next ability is our Noxious Blast. And Noxious Blast, what do you do? Okay, fair enough. Our Noxious Blast, what this thing does is basically it puts down this small explosion of poison like this, and it deals poison damage to anything in that. Whoop! I'm gonna get hit by that for sure. By anything that it hits, which is honestly really good. This damage is dealt over 3 seconds, and it's referred to as a Noxious Poison. This basically means that this poison is sitting on top of that the target you hit. If we cast it on a minion here, you can see we basically put it, and you can see right there, Noxious, it's on it. Okay. I thought something was actually going to happen here, but guess not. Let's make sure we get this farm. But that's basically what this the primary thing of this does. It puts this poison on it, deals a good chunk of damage on that target over 3 seconds. And here's the kicker, and this is one of the reasons why this spell is so freaking cool, is that if you hit a champion with your Noxious Blast, then Cassiopeia gains 30 to 50% movement speed for 3 seconds, decaying over that duration. This means that if you hit a target, if you hit this Lux, we're going to start moving a lot faster. This can be used in various ways. First of all, it's of course really nice if you want to chase them down. You want to get this onto them such that you move there quicker. There's also something that works together with your E, but we'll get to that pretty soon. But you can use this both as an offensive mechanism, of course, to chase people down. You get this movement speed. You can see right here just how fast we move. And it's hard to get away. Like if Cassiopeia sits on you, it's really hard to get her off your back. All right, let's just get a little bit of this. I think we're going to shove this lane and then back, and then we can start talking about the next ability. Oh, I ran right into it. Oop. Yeah. I deserved that one. I deserved that one. I'm sorry, guys. The misposition. All right, let's get this. All right, we should be fine. I promise you guys, we will completely annihilate this Lux later. Right now, we're just going to get through things, and we'll make sure that we do decently. Right now, we're at least ahead in farm, which is cool. All right, so that's our Q. Basically, gives movement speed if you hit a champion, deals damage over time, and it's a poison. Remember that it's a poison that sits on the target. This is very crucial for when we get to our E ability, and I'll probably remind you guys why that is, or I will remind you when we get to the E. Anyway, our next spell is MipZ, and MipZ is also a really, really fun spell, because what this thing does is that it allows Cassiopeia to throw out this arc of poison. And whatever's inside this arc of poison is first of all going to be unable to use any movement abilities. And this is insane because this even includes flash. So if you cast this on top of let's say an Ari, she won't be able to use her ult to dash out of it. She won't be able to use flash. And also she will become slowed, which is super cool. So this MipZ both deals a little bit of damage as a poison effect while people are inside it, but only while they're inside the poison. Whoop, let's get this. Let's just get some vision control here. I think we might look for ganks down there. But it will only deal damage as long as they are inside this arc of poison. So that's basically what that thing does. It's super simple. The poison effect is specifically called deliberating poison. But that's not so important. Just remember that this effect is a poison effect. You can see as soon as she walks out of it, the damage stops. But she was slowed quite heavily while being inside it and unable to use movement abilities. But of course, Lux doesn't really have any movement abilities. So it's a really bad example. But I hope you guys... She has flash. She couldn't flash. But I guess if she flashed there, I would probably laugh. Just a little bit. I would have a moment of evil laughter. Anyway, that's our W. Super cool spell. Now to the bread and butter of Cassiopeia. Like, honestly, this spell, I love it. It's the primary reason why you play this champion. Like, her ult is cool. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it's kind of iconic for Cassiopeia, but believe me, her E, it's cool. It's the thing you wanna. Like, in my opinion, that's the reason why you play her. It's this E. The E combined with the Q, but we'll get to why. Alright, so let's shove this in so we can talk a little concentrated about it. So our E is called Twin Blades. And Twin Blades is basically this poison effect that deals instant damage on a target. So if we throw it on a minion here, you can see it deals damage instantly to that target. It does cost us a bit of mana. If we, however, throw it on a minion and kill that minion, it refunds all of the mana. This is why it's really, really good to farm with, and especially once you get your tier, then it's very important that you farm with it. If you don't have tier, then of course you can still use it to farm with, but you have, like, it's a good idea to be fairly, what do you say, fairly experienced with it, such that you don't mess up and lose too much mana, because it is going to become a mana eating well thing that just eats all your mana if you don't last hit things. I'm dead. Okay, sure. Let's get this, and don't worry, we will get into this. This is fine. Like, the thing is, right now we're playing against something that's just gonna poke, and I'm just kind of trying to explain things, so this is kind of the result of that. But as we're finishing off the spells, then things are gonna change, I promise you guys. Okay, so that's kind of like your E deals this instant damage. If you finish a target with it, then it's gonna refund all the mana. But the fun doesn't stop there. This is where things become really, really, really fun. Maybe I should kill this guy. If she overextends, we'll kill her. But this is not where the fun stops. Because the thing is, if your target has poison on them, then they take a lot more damage. Like, a lot. I'll try and show you guys on the minions here as they shove to the tower. Just need to be a little careful here. Okay. Gonna lose my turret for sure. Also had the worst ult of ever, but sure. All right, so let's try and show you guys. I'll just need to be somewhat safe when doing this. All right, so if we use our E here on the big minion, you can see we do 102 damage. If I pop my Q on it and then pop my E, then we did 257. And you can see just again like 256. Like we do so much more damage whenever you have poison on that target. And this is where the thing that I talked about earlier comes in. It's very important that you know that both your Q and your W puts on poison. It's two different poisons, but that does not matter. Your E does more damage regardless of which poison. So if it's your Q poison, deal more damage. If it's your W poison, you still deal more damage. They don't stack, however, so it's not like you can put QW and then do even more damage. It doesn't work like that. It's just an absolute of whether or not there's poison on the target. So you can see if I pop this on the back line, deal damage, you see I still do a lot of damage. And that's basically what this spell does, which is super cool. And this kind of comes together now. And I think that's kind of what you guys might be sitting there being like, ah, this makes sense. Because now you can actually use your Q to get movement speed. It gives poison onto the target. And it's going to allow you to just sit on the target, keep running after him and spamming your twin fangs. Because this thing has basically no freaking cooldown. It is amazing. All right. I don't know if this guy has vision. If he does, this could be really awkward. I'm just gonna go farm. Gonna go take this farm, and then we're gonna start. These guys are overextending now, most likely. How fed are they? Okay, they're okay. All right, let's see if we can do something here. You can see right here, she's just absolutely screwed. And we went into that fight with not full HP at all. All right, let's just push this out and then we'll back out real quick. There we go. But that's basically a twin fangs. Let's really quick, like really quickly summarize it. It deals instant damage to things. If it has poison on, it deals a lot more damage. If you kill either a minion or a champion or whatever while with this spell, then it refunds all of the mana, which is super cool. Makes it really easy to farm with it. One thing to note when farming it with Cassiopeia, then try to avoid using your Q and your W to farm minions, generally speaking, because it's going to eat up your mana really fast. Anyway, let's get to the very last spell, which is Petrifying Gaze. And this is, of course, like the what do you call this, sprinkle on top of the cake. This is her ult, which is pretty insane. First of all, it has this effect where she, like, it kind of makes sense. Like she uses her eyes like in I don't remember the story, but some of you guys probably do, with the snake, with the snake hair and stuff. Probably heavily inspired by that. Anyhow, whenever she puts this or gazes towards people with her ult, then these guys are then turned into stone if they're looking, if they're facing her. This means that if they're facing away from her, they're not going to be turned into stone, and they're only going to be slowed. But if they are facing their eyes towards you, towards Cassiopeia, then they will be stunned for a full 2 seconds, which is insane. And also it deals a good chunk of damage. This damage is dealt regardless of whether or not they're stunned. But of course you do want to try and see if you can do it while also stunning them, because that is of course ideal. So that's basically all your ult does. It's a really nice utility, and you can stun as many targets as you want to. Basically anything that's inside this cone that has their champions like front faced against you are going to be stunned and are going to take this damage. So it's very cool. And anything faced away, is basically just going to be slowed and still taking the damage. So that's all that spell does. There are some tricks for hitting this damage. The thing is, back in time, you could actually use your ult like this and then flash the opposite way, and it would turn the ult around such that it would be facing this way. You can't do that anymore. But what you can do is, if you have somebody standing right on top of you, then you can ult this way and then flash onto the other side, and your ult will still face this way. And if they're trying to face away from you, then you will be hitting them. So that's a pretty cool little trick. But of course, it's really situational, not that often that you want to use it. I think I'm gonna TP down here, see if I can help out. This should be pretty free. Okay. Yeah, nice. All right, it was not perfect play by me at all. I just want to make sure that we got onto them. They almost got away. Maybe I shouldn't have flashed that early. I should have waited and made sure that I got the stun in. Instead, I only got the slow and the damage effect. But regardless, I would have gotten them if I basically just dodged that Lux snare. So yeah. But that was my own fault. Anyway, that's basically all our abilities and what they do, how they work, which is super cool. Now let's talk a little bit about how you want to combine them. So first of all, we have our Q. As we talked about, this gives movement speed, gives poison. So generally speaking, when you are going on to a target, then you want to use your Q on it to apply the poison. And then you want to spam your E. And then make sure that as soon as your Q is back up, you reapply it to get the movement speed from that effect and also get new poison on the target. If you're playing against a target with some mobility, then you want to be smart about using your W. From time to time, you can also just pop your W to slow them down and then catch them with your Q. W will slow them down such that you can reach them. But most often, it's going to be better for you to use the W to predictively remove their options for getting away or for repositioning from you. So basically, most of the time your combo will be going in with Q, using your E, basically spamming that, and make sure that you auto attack in between as well. And then as soon as it makes sense and you feel like you can get a good W onto them, then go for that, especially if they're trying to flee away from you. Or if you see that they're trying to get close to you, then it's also an option to pop it right on top of yourself. Like if you're playing against the LeBlanc, let's say that's the case, then there are two options. Let's say LeBlanc wants to go for a quick trade. Like for those of you who don't know what LeBlanc does, he has this or she has this jump where she jumps and damages, and she can basically jump back to her old self. So if she jumps to you and you think she's going for a quick trade, so she just jumps to you, deals damage, and goes back. Then what you can do is, as she jumps to you, you can pop your W on her returning position, and as she returns to this point, then she won't be able to get away. Because you won't be able to use any mobility. She won't be able to flash, and she won't be able to use her ult if she wanted to. At least not for a jump. So that's a pretty cool thing. You can also, if you know that the LeBlanc is going to go all in on you, then pop your W on top of yourself such that she can't like jump again, or use flash for that matter. So there are a lot of cool tricks with Cassiopeia. And this spell is really like your mismatch is really situational of how you want to use it. You also remember that you can really use it to keep people away from your backline, because you can pop it in front of you and your ADC, and when people try to run through it, they won't be able to use any mobility, and they will also get slowed. So that's a super cool thing, and it'll allow you to have poison on the target, dealing a chunk of damage. And your ult, of course, you want to use that whenever it makes sense, and you can hit people from a frontal position. I think that's more or less what we want to talk about the abilities. She is like the abilities, like the combos with the abilities are very situational, but also very simple in a sense, because it all comes down to you wanting to apply poison to your target and then wanting to follow up with your E. So you just want to do as much with your Twin Fang as humanly possible. All right, that's good. I think we could go probably for like a Baron here. Okay, so let's talk about how you actually wanted to play this Cassiopeia in the early, mid, or in the early game, and then move into the late game or mid to late game afterwards. So in the early game, what you want to do is you want to basically try and think about playing smart. The thing is, it's very different how you want to play her depending on what you're playing against. Of course, that's the case with a lot of champions. But the thing with Cassiopeia is that seeing as she has no mobility, then she's super easy to gank for the enemy jungler, meaning that you don't really want to go too aggressive, at least not till you're level 6, or at least till you've gotten your tier. Your tier helps a lot with the mana sustain. The thing is, in the early game, you are like, she just eats up your mana so fast if you go for a trade. Also, Cassiopeia is basically, she's not a champion where you go in for a quick trade and go out. You're in it for the whole. Like you want a longer sustained fight whenever you're going in with her. That's basically what you're going for. So against champions like LeBlanc, as we talked about earlier, you don't want to be going all in the early game, because it won't make sense. He's going to jump in, or she's going to jump in, jump out, and you're not going to be able to do your full damage, and you should probably lose those fights. So in the early game, you want to play somewhat safe until you move into at least post level 6. If the enemy champion is then playing super aggressive, then you should be able to punish it. You can basically 1v1 just about anyone, more or less, of course to a certain degree, but generally speaking, you can 1v1 quite like the majority of champions, especially if you know how to play this one. But be very aware of their jungler. As you move into the mid game, it's a lot the same story. If you're, however, playing against somebody who's playing super defensive and you don't feel like you can punish them in lane, then what you want to do is you want to start looking to roam and see if you can find someone, see if you can help your other lanes. I think right here we should actually just push this turret if we can. I'm gonna TP if this guy goes for the next turret. Definitely will. Whoop. I actually haven't done that much in this fight, but we are pretty strong, so if it comes to it, we will be able to do something. All right. But that's basically the early game. The mid game is very much the same story. You want to basically try and roam if the laner you're playing up against is playing too defensive, and of course if objectives or other stuff occurs, then you want to back up around it. Cassiopeia is very heavily a team fight champion. This basically means, all right here you can just see just how strong we are. Whew. We're gonna go in here, heal up a little bit, because we can heal up, and also we have the yummy nummy. Yep, she's dead. Sweet. As you guys can see, we're starting to become really strong, but in the mid game it's very much the same story. Roam if it makes sense. If the laner you're playing against, you're unable to punish him, or then try and, instead of shuffle lane and then roam. That's also a very, very viable thing to do. Okay, whoop. Yeah, nice. Can't believe I actually got that kill, but whatever. I'll take it. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm dead. 100%. 100% I overextended. I think right here, let's see, they have a Lux, so I think we're going to go for the Hourglass. We're going to take the stopwatch first, just so we don't die to that, just because I feel like that would be kind of annoying. And we're just going to start off with that one. But that's basically the mid game. It's very much the same story. As you get into the late game, this is where things become really fun with Cassiopeia, because what Cassiopeia wants to do is she really wants to team up with her team. You don't really want to be split pushing with her. Of course, you can go down if your ADC and support goes into mid lane and start farming there, then make sure that you roam down and get some gold from the other lanes, and then roam back, or sorry, and then come back to team up. You really want to be teaming up. You don't want to be split pushing. In the specific fights, then basically what you want to do is that you want to play the backline. Backline meaning that you're not running up in the head of everybody. You're staying back with your ADC and just basically shredding through anything that is within range. That is your primary purpose. You are still a squishy target, and you have to know that. So you want to play the back line, of course. In a game like this one where everybody's just kind of fooling around, it appears that becomes slightly harder. Well, let's make sure that we at least get this. I don't think I'll be able to catch this guy, but oh, maybe we will. Yeah, okay. If I can hit my Q on him. All right, if we split here, I think he knows for sure that I'm doing this. Yep. I just got my E off, and the reason for this was just to get the Crystal Scepter proc. This is super nice. All right. There we go. But with Cassiopeia, you really want to be teaming up. You want to play the backline, stay with your, like, close to your ADC, etc. Use your W to peel off. And you know for a fact, since your backline, people want to get in and get, like, and basically attack you and your ADC. This also makes it a lot easier for you to hit your ult with the stun effect. So kind of use that to your advantage. And also, you know, when people come in, sometimes you can actually kind of buff them because they're going to be running in. They know you're Cassiopeia, and then they might do like a turnaround and they'll be like, nah, I'm going to try to dodge you. And they are actually going to, and if you just hold on to it for a second there and you kind of learn their play style, then you'll be able to waste their time trying to bluff your ult, which is kind of cool. But don't use too much time on it, and of course, don't make too much of a risk. It's an assessment if you've kind of got the feeling of how a specific player plays. Anyway, I'm moving up behind these guys. This should put us in a pretty fun position for killing these guys. We should be able to just basically shred them completely. You just see just how fun this is. Like, you cannot tell me that this is not fun. I should have stopwatched. I just greeted. If I had a ward here, I would have gotten her without dying, but sure. So as you guys can see, we are just super fed. Now getting the hourglass, and like, quite honestly, like, there's not that much they can do at this point, because we are just getting stronger and stronger by the minute. We're gonna end up having a 1 item advantage since we don't need boots, and it's really fun. She's an insanely fun champion, and a really, really high skill one. There's a high learning curve, but once you kind of get the hang of her, she's just so good. She's so freaking good and so fun to play. But yeah, remember, late game, you want to play for objectives. You want to hang around your team as much as possible, but of course, still make sure that you get farm. So if people are in the mid lane, then don't be shy to go down and push out the other lanes to get the CS, such that you get gold, because at the end of the day, that's really important. I think right here, I might look for a TP. I'm going to consider it if they push it. They're not going to. I'm just going to run. If they run past this ward, then we'll TP. I'll TP. Gonna make sure that this doesn't get out of hand. Oh, that's nice. All right, so I think we'll just go down here, heal up a little bit from these minions. And I think that's actually something I forgot to mention with our twin. Oops, I should have hourglassed. With our twin fangs. I'm very sorry. I don't know why I skipped this. That you also heal when using the twin fangs. I don't know how I forgot that. I'm very sorry. It's a very, very crucial part of it. When you use your twin fangs, you do heal. Even if and you heal even more whenever the target is poisoned. So this is very important. And if you're hitting a champion, you heal more if you hit than if you hit a minion. I forgot to mention that. I'm very sorry. But now it's there. I'm glad I just remembered. Okay, so Let's see. What are we going to go for now? I feel like we should get something fun. So, and yeah, I feel like this will be fun. It'll be fun getting a Rabbidan's Death Cap. We don't have our TP anymore. And now let's group up with our team. See if we can get something that looks like a real team fight, and just see if we can demolish the enemy team. That'll be really fun. That would be really, really fun. I really like this champion. I don't know if you guys can hear her, but she's fun. She's a lot of fun to play. All right, so I'm thinking that we're gonna go ahead, group up with this Jhin, hoping that our set is gonna group up with us, and we should be able to push to finish here. Could also go for the Baron pretty soon. Their ADC is down, so going for the Baron as soon as our might not be bad, but appears that my team's just going full bonkers down here. So I'm guessing that that's what we're gonna do. Okay, here's the thing. Like, most of the time, it's better to follow a crappy tactic from your team than doing 4 different things and not working together. Just FYI. Shift G. Oh. I'm gonna have to flash here. I have no idea what we're doing. Like, legitimately, we're just headless chickens running around. Drake's up 35. Baron's up. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go try and push this in hip. I feel like that's they should be able to punish it, however, but unless we group up, then we should be good. Or Jhin is also super fed. Whoop. I don't know how I'm eating this every time, but holy crap. Okay. That was not intentional. But I did know that this was risky, but yeah, they have a lot of stuff that can catch me. It's actually been a really long time since I've played against Aurelion Sol, and he's actually doing a lot of damage. I'm really impressed. It's been a very, very long time since I've met any of those. All right. Let's see what we can do here. We have TP in 30, which means that we can basically TP the second that we spawn, more or less. Like 1 second after we spawn. Like, next fight should probably, for us, we should be able to finish it. I could TP up here behind them, if possible. Oh, that guy's gonna get hit. That's bad. And now we're ready. I'm on my way. I don't think they know I'm here. Oh no, so close. But he's gonna die. 100%. Nice. So 4 people down. 5th person is there. Doesn't really matter. Should just push in hip. But instead going on a wild goose chase. I don't know what's going on in this game. Quite honestly. This is... yeah. It's one of those games. That's an ace, but now Talia spawned, and Aurelion Sol is going to come up in just a moment, but yeah. Whatever. Let's have a 40-minute game. Are they going to finish? Oh, they might. They might actually just do this. Yo, this is not bad. Go for it. It's 2 people up. You're 3. Aurelion Sol is, of course, kind of annoying. Kog'Maw should also be able to do quite a lot, but then again, without peeling, he can really... oh... I'm thinking if I should just go directly Baron and just... Nah. Let's go base. Let's be a part of this this complete chaos and like, it does not make sense. Like, I think most of this game has not made sense, like, strategy-wise. It's just been a freaking team deathmatch. That's also fun from time to time, though, but... Oh, I just feel like chasing him down so bad. So bad. I'm not gonna eat any more of your snares. I feel like I've eaten enough. I'm a little afraid, to be honest. Not gonna lie. Oh, this guy's overextending. No! You grabbed him out of my... Well, fair enough. Not like I played that amazing at all, but... I guess it worked out. The team deathmatch continues. This cockmov is just... He's gonna hurt a lot late game. Whoop. Yep. Nope. It's not gonna work. And it is gonna be GG, except I don't want to die. Really don't feel like it. I died. I goddamn had to die. I was just trying to bait him out. All right, that's gonna be it for this game. It was quite a fun game, and I feel like I did get the points across. I did play it pretty terribly, but it was fun, which is important. That's at the end of the day the reason why we played. And as I've said before, I'm in no way the best player in the world in any way. There's so many people that are a lot better at the game than I am. I'm just doing this because I think it's fun. It's also a way to learn the basics of champs for you guys, but also I actually learn a lot from doing these, so it's pretty fun. But yeah, I hope some of you guys got something from this video and learned a thing or two and maybe enjoyed it. If you just found it entertainable, that's also nice. If you hated it, that's also something, I guess. But yeah, I just hope you guys kind of enjoyed it. If you did, then make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out quite a lot, because it makes sure to tell it, like, it tells YouTube to be like, hey, this video should be suggested to more people, which kind of just helps the overall thing. So yeah, please go ahead, smash the like button if you like this video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then go ahead, do that. It is, come on, just get it over with, join in here. We've been growing so much lately, it's insane. Just started full time here on YouTube, and I'm so excited for everything, and gotten so much support. I really do appreciate it. So thank you to every single one of you guys out there. It really means the world to me. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys have any champs you want to see, or have some comments or extra tips or whatever, leave them in the comment section below and I'll make sure to come back to you. But that's gonna be it for this one. As always, stay awesome, have fun, and take it easy, guys.